Hey, this is Matt, and we're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about not just sex, but adventurous sex. My team did a bunch of research, and they've come up with 15 places that men fantasize about having sex, but don't tell you about it. Now, in another video we talked about how to have great sex. And one of the attributes of great sex is variety. Changing up the locations, changing up the positions, just keeping it interesting. Because if you're doing it in the same location, in the same position every single time, it gets boring. Routine lulls the brain to sleep. So in this video, here are 15 adventurous, wild ideas you can use to spice up your love life. Number one is on a hike. One of the gentlemen interviewed said that he and his girlfriend went on this hike, went off into the woods a little bit, found this beautiful big boulder, made love on that boulder. It was a massive fantasy of his. So the next time you're out hiking, look for a private, beautiful place, preferably with no ants. Number two is in the pool. One of the gentlemen wrote in and said that he and his girlfriend went on this vacation, beautiful resort, snuck out in the middle of the night, dove into the pool, found this secluded corner, made love in the water, and the weightlessness of that made it super fun and memorable. Number three, reported by men, is at your parents' house. This is interesting, not really one of my fantasies, but I can imagine that the danger, the chance of being caught, the authority of the parents, all of that just adds to the risk, adds to the adrenaline, and makes it a fantasy for a lot of guys. And number four is the kitchen. Changing up that environment. Let him pull you up onto the kitchen counter. Let him make love to you on the dining room table. Just changing up the environment, getting in the kitchen can keep it spicy. No pun intended. Now, in fact, my grandmother wrote a book called 90 Ways to Put a Zip in Your Day. And one of the people who read that book came to me once and said, "Hey, we have your grandmother to thank for a new dining room table." I said, "Well, what do you mean my grandma to thank for a new dining room table?" And she said, "Well, we got her book, 90 Ways to Put a Zip in Your Day. Number 52 is have sex on the dining room table." So apparently they crashed the dining room table. So if you're going to do that, just be careful. And actually, you know what? I'm going to give you that book as a gift. Alex, can we put the graphic up here? Good. This is a book my grandmother wrote in her 90s, for her 90th birthday actually. It was called 90 Ways to Put a Zip in Your Day. It's an amazing book. I'm going to put a link here. You can download it. It's a free gift from my grandma and me to you. Click that link. You'll love it. Number five, in the shower. There was this funny joke I heard once that said 95% of men masturbate in the shower. The other 5% don't have hands. What's funny about that is the shower is a very sexy place for men. So better than him pleasuring himself is him with you getting it on in the shower. Number six is in front of a mirror. And this is great because you're able to see different angles. You're able to get different views than you could normally get. Men, we are super visual, so give us more to look at and it turns him on. Number seven, in open air Jeep on a secluded beach in Mexico. A little specific, but I like it. You know, just being on adventure in another country is sexy and cool, and making love in the car is cool, but spice it up, get an open air Jeep, drive to a secluded beach, have sex, make love, super hot. And number eight, the beach. Similar to number seven, but the beach is just sexy, plain and simple. So any nice beach, as long as it's not too cold, can be a really sexy place that men fantasize about making love. Number nine is a plane. Yes, it's the Mile High Club that men fantasize about. So ignore the question that's in your mind right now, which is, well, how would you even fit, right? I don't even know. All we know is that men fantasize about it. We're going to do number 10 and number 11 together. Number 10 is a public restroom. Number 11 is a public dressing room. Now, both of these are confined spaces that have the risk of getting found out. So just the danger of being discovered and having to keep quiet while you're making love intensifies the experience of having sex, both of which men are fantasizing about. Number 12 is a bit romantic. It's in a rowboat. Taking a rowboat out on the lake, under the moonlight, making love. The guy who did do this talked about it being pretty precarious. So he's like, you got to be really careful not to capsize as you're making love in this rowboat. 13 is a lifeguard stand. You're going on that romantic walk with your man under the moonlight on the beach. See that lifeguard stand? take advantage of it. And number 14 is a Ferris wheel. Now, chances are you've been in a Ferris wheel with your man. It's pretty romantic in there. One guy said that he came back from a long trip, or they were dating long distance, I think it was, and the first date was at this amusement park. They had this huge Ferris wheel with these gondola type cars that you get in. It was just the two of them, a big old Ferris wheel. And so on that Ferris wheel, they started making love. He said it was super hot because also that risk of being seen, spotted, but the privacy and being able to see out over the whole town was very, very cool. And number 15 is the 50-yard line of a football field. Lots of guys fantasize about this. And one gentleman said that he and his girlfriend, it was her idea actually, it was after the big game, everybody was gone, middle of the night, they snuck back onto the field, made love on the 50-yard line of that football field. And if you're not quite brave enough for the 50-yard line, you can go up into the stands and get your adventure on up there as well. Now, my question for you is, what's a place that you fantasize about having sex? It may be a place that you've already achieved that, or it may be a place that you one day would love to experience. Go ahead and post that in the comment section below. And if you're a person who believes in extraordinary love, if you believe that you're destined to give and receive greater levels of love in your life, click the subscribe button, hit the little notification button, because that's what this channel and this community is all about. Amazing, deep, profound love. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.